Hi, this is Miss Bell, and I will be taking you through uh, doing your core competencies with our core competency document. The first place to go is to the Valley View website. Under Parents and Students, you will see that there is a section here for the core competency. Click on that, and then you will have a couple of links here, both of which are helpful. Now, this one here, if I open it, you can see when it opens, that this one explains the aspects, the different aspects for each core competency. Uh, the reason this one is on here is because it's a lot easier to read through these. They're easy to see. In our document, it can get a little tricky. So here we are, we're back to the page, and here is the document. This is what you need to open up. Now you're going to need to make a copy of this. Right now it's locked as view only. If you are doing this from a Chromebook, you will already be logged in. But if you're doing it from a computer, then your icon won't be here. As you can see, mine has a lovely mustache. So if you're on a computer, make sure that you've logged in with your Gedju account. Once you've done that, you can make a copy. To make a copy, you're going to go to File, Make a Copy. And again, if you're not logged in, the Make a Copy option will be grayed out. Now, you don't really want it to say Copy of Core Competency. So you're going to rename it Core Competency, and you can either do this at the front, grade 8, or whatever grade you're currently in. You will make one of these for each grade that you're in. So that's why it's important to label it whatever grade that you're currently in. So I've called mine grade 8. And then you have to decide where you want to put it. So I don't want it in my library folder. I want it actually to be in my core competency. So I never mind the suggested ones. Let's go to all locations. So you want it in your drive. So select the arrow here. Now, if you have a core competency folder like I do, you can just select it to go there. However, if you don't have one, it's easy to make. You click on this new folder button here and call it Core Competency. Competency or plural, either way is fine. The reason you want a folder like this is so you can put all of those documents that you're going to have for grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in one place. Also, if you have any pictures that you need to add into your document, which quite often you will, it's nice to be able to share them or upload them into that folder as well. Keeps it all neat and easy to find. So then you would create it. Okay, so my folder is empty. I've just created it. So I'm going to select it. There we go. I've got my grade name with my core competency, and there we go. I've made a copy. Okay, so inside of here, now I've got a slightly older version. A newer version will be up later today. And you'll know you have the newer version if the second page has copies of those core competency aspects in here. First thing to do is put your name. So my name is Miss Bell, and at the moment I'm pretending to be in grade 8 because it's a fun grade. Again, the newer versions will have the core competencies here so you can read the full one, and I'll show you why. So here's my English one, and when I click on these, so when you're deciding what you want to enter as evidence, you're also going to be choosing which core competencies they relate to. So if I choose one of these, it can be hard to see which one of these they are. That's great, that makes it longer there, but otherwise it can be quite difficult. And so being able to come back, read all of them so you can see which one for sure you want to use, that makes life a little easier. So what kind of stuff can you put in here? Well, for evidence, in my English class, I might want a picture of a project that I did, and I can add that in. I might want to put in a link to an essay that I wrote, and that's just fine. So that's where the evidence goes here. You can put your link here, you can put a picture, put a video. The reason we have this question here is you want to describe it. So this is my essay on Romeo and Juliet. Not something you read in grade 8, but there you go. The reason you want to describe it here is just in case your link breaks or your picture gets removed somehow, because you're building these all the way from grade 8 to grade 12. And when you look back from grade 8 or from grade 12 at what you did in grade 8, you might not remember what it was you did, and you might not remember what that link was for. Then you finish filling in these questions. I chose this because an answer. I would change or improve, and you fill it in. This aspect, this thing here, connects well because my next steps are I chose these core competencies because, or where it says this aspect, you could change something like, oh, maybe what I really liked in my essay was how I explained my quote. So this explanation of my quote worked well because I followed my teacher's guidelines carefully, whatever that is. So one thing you'll notice is the pages in this document are not normal size for pages. We did that because we wanted it to look a bit like a slideshow, but in the slideshow we couldn't do the drop-down menu, and that's why we have it the way it is. If you add a picture in, just make sure that you have got all of your English or whatever subject you're working on still together on the one page. You might have to remove extra spaces, and you might have to scale down your picture. Now, you have, if you open this show tabs here, an easy way to get to all of your different subject areas. And we made one page for each subject. Now, what happens if you have two great projects for English? Well, it's really easy. You just copy this, Control C, then I'm going to add a new page. So I'm going to hit Control Enter. That creates a new page. I'm going to go to the top of it, and I'm going to Control V to paste it. Look, there it is. Now I've added an extra one by accident. That's okay. That's easy. And there, now I have two pages in here. You can do that. You'll probably do this a lot with ADST, right? Oops. And somehow I made some mistakes. That's all right. I will fix that in a moment. There we go. All right. So with ADST, you're going to have a bunch of these. So you're going to need to make copies and paste them quite often. Other things you should know, well, you could certainly, what could you link to? PE, you could certainly link to some photos that you have of things that you've done. You could even put in things like basketball, a picture of basketball, because that was a skill that you were working on that you're quite happy with. Math, again, you could use tests, you could use pictures. Science, maybe you even want to use labs. Remember, you're going to do a new document for each year. So that's why mine says grade 8. So that you should have 5 of these by the time you finish high school. Now, if you're in the older grades and you already have the slide deck that has the multiple years and you're continuing on with those, you're not going to have as many. But that's okay because you're still doing the same reflection. Hopefully this was helpful, and good luck and happy recording.